This is Rick, and welcome to Spit Take. And I'm here with my co-host Adam.
Hello.
And Stefan is off in the Bahamas.
I think
I'm not
she's.
even gonna say what she's doing.
I think she's
Something
just
for
in
money.
Arizona.
Uh, she's doing something for money on some island. Um, and anyways, it's Rex Manning Day, and so nothing can ruin today. And Adam wouldn't know that because he's not a '90s kid, a true '90s kid.
Yes, I am. There's one movie that I saw once and I don't remember all of it.
Yeah, and that's why you're not a true '90s kid.
Whatever.
Anyways, over the weekend I binged Devil May Cry anime. It came out on Netflix, and I gotta say I actually liked it. Now I know a lot of people were complaining because I guess it didn't follow the story, and it's one of those things where they just kind of made up their own thing. It came out on Netflix, I believe, Friday. And I played the games. I didn't really like play all the games. I think I might. I think they got like a HD remake package on Steam. I might go on there and kind of buy and play them all because I did enjoy them. I mean, it had the beat 'em up kind of thing going on like God of War, and but I mean, it was just basically like it was 8 episodes, like 30 minutes an episode. It was basically like one big fight about demons, and I actually really enjoyed it.
Nice. I played those games a little bit. I liked them. They were a lot of fun. I never seen the anime, but were the games were interesting because it was kind of RPG, but the way they handled it was like a little bit different from what I had seen back when RPGs were like really popular and really turn based.
Well, RPGs really, and I think probably around that time, RPGs really took a turn, right? Like, yeah, it was turn based, and then they kind of made action RPGs because back in the day, well, I mean, RPGs really started out, Dungeons and Dragons, paper and pencil,
Mm-hmm.
and then they had um, well, I know back in the day, the first RPG I played was Dragon Warriors. And
It's a
Dragon
good game.
Warriors, I can still sit like the old number one Dragon Warriors, I can still sit and play and beat. And I'd still have fun with it. That's how good that game was. It was just this little, and it's still like this little badass freaking dude. I don't know if Edric was him or the second one. And it's just open world, and it just, I remember my little 5 year old self just being so in awe, walking around this castle, and these little people walking in place, and you could just go up and like talk to them and stuff, and then but you weren't in a group then, and I don't remember playing any group ones until parties until I played Ultima. And Ultima kind of went on forever. I don't think they've made an Ultima since 2018, but Ultima was another one where it just kind of went on for. They still make Dragon Quest, and Dragon Quest is Dragon Warrior,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know why they changed the name, but it went from Dragon Warrior to Dragon Quest. Uh, the Ultima was kind of another one, and obviously Final Fantasy, and Final Fantasy went from kind of a medieval to kind of a steampunk,
Yeah.
futuristic steampunk kind of thing. And there's a Bard's Tale, and then Elder Scrolls came out, and then
Mm-hmm.
Elder Scrolls kind of turned in wasn't like a turn based one. It was more of a kind of fighting one with arena. And I played the old Elder Scrolls one,
Yeah.
and it looks exactly uh like Morrowind or Oblivion or like
Yeah.
it looks exactly like them. It's with worse graphics.
Yeah. Yeah, the first RPG I ever played was Super Mario RPG, and I thought that was like the greatest game in the world. I played
Oh,
that
it's
game over and over.
fantastic.
And I didn't buy the remake because I didn't feel that the $60 was worth it to play a game that I've played over and over again just with better graphics. But it was a fun game, and it introduced me to the turn-based RPGs. From there, I went on to Final Fantasy VII and Final Fantasy VIII, which are my two favorite Final Fantasy games. Obviously, the Seven just got a remake recently, but they were still turn-based. And then the RPGs, again, like you said, started becoming more action RPGs, where it was leveling your character, giving them new stats, new abilities. But the combat was consistent. You didn't stop to take turns fighting each other. So um, I did, that kind of got me into those. But I play a lot of RPG, a lot of games now that are RPGs because I play a lot of the MMORPGs, which is the multiplayer online role playing game like World of Warcraft, um, the Elder Scrolls Online, DC Universe. That's a good one. And the new one that came out this past year, which is Once Human, which is an awesome game and it's free on Steam. So that was a big draw for me because I like free. But for being free, it's a pretty amazing game and pretty in depth. So, um, but yeah, so I mean, Devil May Cry was definitely one of those that was out there that had a huge fan following on it. So I wasn't surprised that they made a an anime for it.
Well, they had a 2007 animated movie,
Hmm.
Devil May Cry did, and I think that was the complaint is they did the same thing where they kind of just did their own thing. They didn't follow the movie. They didn't follow the game. And so that was the same thing with this is like, oh, we're just going to make our own story. We're not going to follow the game. And that's the complaint over and over again when they have material. Same thing with comic books, right?
Right.
Same thing with MCU and DC and stuff like that. It's like you got the material and you keep doing your own thing. You have the characters. Like the people fan cast and everything, and we're like, oh, what if this person played them? They look just like them, and then you cast somebody that's like a different race or a different gender, or
Hmm.
and it's like, well, that's why we're disappointed because like this is what they look like, and this is the story, and you just made it totally different for no reason, you know. And we like our imagination wants to see this, the pages in this video game come to life. That's why we're so disappointed in Resident Evil,
Yeah.
because we've fantasized about Leon and Claire coming to life, especially Claire. Woo!
Yeah.
Even though I did meet her actress.
I was a
Um,
bigger fan of Jill Valentine.
yeah. Oh no, Claire Redfield's my girl. Um, but yeah, Jill Valentine's got that body. But but uh, but but yeah, I mean, man, Resident Evil 4, what a movie that would be. You know,
Yeah, that would be a really good one. And because they did so much with Leon after Resident Evil 2, they did so much with him where he like became a serious badass. Did you ever watch the movies, the animated movies?
hmm
Those were so good.
hmm
There was two or three of them that came out on Netflix. I know I watched one when I was in Afghanistan and didn't have high expectations for it, but I watched it. And it was probably like my favorite non-game Resident Evil. Um, and it's just again, it's Leon just being a badass, but they followed the formula for Resident. It had nothing to do. It didn't have anything to do with any of the stories in the games. Like it was its own story within that universe. Like it
yeah,
still was the game continuity, but it was like its own story, and they did a really good job with it. And the animation was amazing. Um, and it's just Leon fighting zombies. But like what they did with him, and like Leon became the face of Resident Evil because of those. I feel like because of those movies.
yeah. I have a feeling it was supposed to be Chris, but Leon kind of took over.
Yeah, well, because Resident Evil 2 was like the best Resident Evil game they had until Biohazard came out. Because it's a close contender with Resident Evil 2.
Yeah, but Leon's still the guy.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, because Chris really because Resident Evil 5 was really kind of a. I mean, I liked Resident Evil 5, but it was kind of a
yeah,
disappointment as far because that was more of an action game
it was.
overall. Uh,
Resident Evil 4 was too, but not to the extreme that 5 was.
it was still a horror,
Yeah.
you know. But yeah, and then Resident Evil 6. Well, Resident Evil 6 was kind of like Choose Your Adventure.
Hmm.
Like it
Well,
was like
it
every
was.
single one was different.
I like that one. No, funny story about Resident Evil 4 because that was kind of like the new gen consoles and everything when it came out,
It does.
and
Was that GameCube?
GameCube, yeah. So I got the pre-order for that, and I had a study hall period, and I left to go pick it up from GameStop. I got it, brought it home, was like, cool, I can play for about an hour. I was like, and then I'll go back to school. And like I played, and I was just in the first part. Like I wasn't even to the title screen yet. I was just in the village, and I fought all the things, and I got my head chopped off by the dudes with the chainsaw. And I was like, this game is amazing. And I called my girlfriend. And I was like, yeah, I'm not coming to school today.
Oh yeah, that was good.
I
And
blew
then
it
I don't
off.
even know when. I mean, all of them were like Resident Evil Zero was pretty good. It
Yeah,
wasn't as good, but it's still like that was a prequel to one. And then Code Veronica was fantastic.
Code
I
Veronica
had
was
a
great.
great time playing Code Veronica. I can't tell you. That was actually a really creepy one too. I
Yeah.
think I was playing that when I was in Germany, when I was on deployment or when I was stationed in Germany, and I actually was in the barracks playing by myself, and I had the lights out. It was the middle of the night, and my bunkmate walked in. And he scared the shit out of me, and my controller went flying up in the air when he walked in.
Hmm.
Scared the shit out of me.
Did
Uh,
you play the new with the remake of Resident Evil 2? Like the one that just came out?
Yeah, I played the remake Resident Evil 2
So
and
good.
3. I don't even think I ever beat the original Resident Evil 3. I think I beat the remake Resident Evil 3, which I know the remake Resident Evil 3 isn't even like as good as the original Resident Evil 3.
Yeah.
I just never got around to beating it.
I really liked the remake of Resident Evil 2. I didn't play the remake of Resident Evil 3, but Resident Evil 2 was creepy as hell, man.
Mr. X in Resident Evil 2
Yeah.
was really good. I actually liked him and the better in the remake.
Yeah, and it was strange to see him in there because, it was the G virus monster. Can't remember what his name was in the original. And I know they remade it, but like Mr. X following you around everywhere, like
Hmm.
just slow walking to kill you was
Yeah,
awesome.
but you could like hear his footsteps ever.
Yeah.
Crazy.
It was. They did a really good job with the suspension there, and that again, that going back to Resident Evil Biohazard, that game creeped me the hell out. Like the part, it's in the very beginning where you like
Yeah.
kind of find your wife, and then she disappears. Then you go up the stairs, and you're in the house. And then you go back to the stairs, and you start coming down, and then she just comes crawling out of the darkness at you. Like they
Hmm.
had some good jump scares in that game, and like some stuff that really made you uneasy. It was awesome.
Yeah. And it reminds me, I got to play Silent Hill 2 remake.
Yeah, I do want to get. I'm gonna find a little money, but I want to play that one. Um, yeah, man, so many good scary games out there. Love them.
Yeah, I probably will someday. A lot going on. I'm a little
Yeah,
busy watching One Piece, which I'm completely hooked on. It's absolutely such a fantastic series. I did not know I'd be so hooked on One Piece. I'm about 975 episodes in,
hmm,
and I'm on this. So it's basically split up into arcs, and these arcs can go on. So this series has been going on since like 1999, and they just started releasing the new season, and so that's probably like a couple of years from where I'm at. So
yeah,
the new season's like episode like 1125 or something like that. I'm at
Jesus,
975, and but I literally spent like a whole day watching it Sunday. I didn't do nothing but watch it because I just was burnt out. and I probably watched about 20 episodes. So it's like I didn't even
Yeah.
hit that in it. But like where I'm at is like Fuel Japan is the way it's set up, and the story is so intricate that like it's like mind-boggling because it's so tied together that these characters hit on like stuff that happened way back earlier in the season or earlier in the series, but it's like if I were to think about it, like this is stuff that happened like 10 years earlier.
Yeah.
If I were watching the show like for decades or for the last couple decades, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, wow, this is really, and it's got me wondering too, like, did they really set it up? Because some of it does seem thrown together. Because the way the powers are set up is and I do want you to, at some point, watch
Hmm.
at least the series, like, because I'm not expecting you to watch the whole anime.
Yeah.
But at some point, check out the live action because like the first season's like 8 episodes, 10 episodes, something like that.
Hmm.
Um, but they have what's called dragon fruit, and the dragon fruit is uh, there's one dragon fruit per power. So you eat the dragon fruit and you get a power, and so Luffy ate this dragon fruit and he's like made of rubber. Um, and it's not like everybody gets a dragon fruit, but you find a dragon fruit, you get a power.
Hmm.
And but also, not very many people in the world know about this power called hockey. And hockey is but like hockey didn't come in till like 250 episodes into the series. Like we didn't even know hockey existed, but like it was like shown earlier in the series, but we didn't know what it was till like 250 episodes in the series.
Hmm.
And hockey's kind of like the force. Like it's like a power that lives in you, but there's like different styles of it, you know. So
Okay.
like, but it is kind of like the force. So like, kind of like how Luke can like make someone do something, you know. Uh,
Yeah.
like Luffy can like predict what's gonna happen. I forget what it's called, but like, watch out, he's gonna punch to the left and then he moves, you know. Or armament hockey. So like he can like all of a sudden uh, put on extra armor to like make sure like he uh, he doesn't like take a big blow or something like that.
Sure.
I forget where I was going with that, but it was just interesting. Well, because of how things sometimes feel like it just gets thrown together at the last moment, but at the same time, stuff does show up earlier in the show too.
Hmm.
So it's really weird how that happens. But um, I would suggest at least watching the first 8 episodes or the live action, uh, because it's actually surprisingly good because it's kind of a show that sneaks up on you.
Okay.
It's a show that like you think it's going to be like this goofy kind of silly thing. Even
Yeah.
it's like, oh, it's going to be just this goofy thing, but it's like you're really hooked on it. Like you're just addicted to it.
I I did see the trailers for it, and I was very interested to watch the show, like the live action show. I'm not really that into anime, but the live action show looked like it was pretty interesting. You said it was good, so and I take that because I know that because you watch all the anime stuff, and most people think that the live action never lives up um, to the anime or everything. I It made me interested. I think I should sit down and watch that at some point. I'm sure I will.
None of the anime really has. I didn't mind the Cowboy Bebop. I know what's her name at the end was really annoying. Um, there's a lot of red flags in Cowboy Bebop, but I wish it would have kept going.
Hmm.
But yeah, I don't think there's been too much of the live action that's came from anime that's really worked too well. I'm
Yeah,
trying to think of anything that really has. But the One Piece, yeah, they're throwing a lot of stuff in there quickly, but it's like it's not going to be because they're talking about the anime going on for another 5 years,
sure.
and it's been going on since 1999. And this is uh, a weekly manga series, come from a weekly manga series, So it's not like
Yeah,
the live action probably go 5 seasons, you know.
yeah, um, yeah. No, I'd probably try to check out One Piece at some point. See what that's all about. Did you watch that trailer I sent you earlier about the new Predator show or movie, whatever it is?
Yeah,
Yeah. So I wanted to talk about that because that looks pretty interesting. So new came out today for a Predators. I think it's a movie on Hulu, or it's coming on Hulu in June. It's called Predators: Killer of Killers, and it is animated, but it's still run. It was still produced and directed by Dan Trachtenberg, who did the Prey movie. The um, came out what 2 years ago now, 2 or 3 years ago. Movie called Prey that was a Predator movie set around the basically a Native American tribe trying to fight it. Um, but this looks pretty interesting. There's three different stories. So there's a Viking mother. Um, there's a story about a Viking mother. There's a ninja assassin. A World War II pilot, maybe. Can't remember. But so each of that, it's each of their story of them versus the predator. Um, so again, I don't know if they didn't weren't really specific whether it's going to just be a movie that has three different stories in it, or if it's going to be a show that has three different episodes. Um, but what I think that they will end up doing, I don't think everybody is going to beat the predator. I think the predator is going to win at least once, if not two or three times. Because one of the biggest arguments anybody ever makes is that like Predator is supposed to be like a killer, and yes, he does kill a lot of people in the movies, but in the end, he always gets beaten by humans. So, like, how badass is he really that he's got all this tech and can't take on the humans? And I know it's supposed to be the whole, you know, but what's that guy's name? Anyways, so I think that they're going to have one where it's not necessarily the Predator losing, and they were talking at one point about doing a movie, and maybe this is the one they're talking about, but doing a movie from the point of view of the predator and making him like more of the, I don't know if you want to call hero, but the protagonist of the series. Um, but this one looks really good, and like the looks amazing, and it looks in a year. I think they had a couple of super predators, and um, yeah, I'm really anxious to see that one because following that, there's going to be Predator Badlands, another movie coming out, which I think is set in like no man's land in World War I. Something. I don't think a lot of details have been released about it. There's a lot of good like Predator and Alien stuff coming out now, and those franchises are getting back on track, which makes me really happy because I'm a huge fan. So, with Alien Romulus being very successful and a new Alien TV show coming out on Hulu in July, June or July, I think, called Alien Earth, and we haven't really seen much about that, but it looks scary as fuck. Um, so lots of really good sci-fi stuff coming out from the Alien vs Predator or the Alien and Predator world. They don't have any Alien vs Predator movie scheduled that we know about.
so this is Predator killing warriors.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is important. Number one. Number two, I like that it's animated. I really hope they start leaning into animated.
Mm-hmm.
I hope more people start leaning into animated stuff. Uh, because you can do so much more with animated stuff, especially to fill in a lot of things, you know. Uh, uh, live action can be used in between. And I think this is fantastic. I really
Yeah.
like this.
Right.
I really like this idea. I think we've been wanting to see predators kill a samurai or fight a samurai,
Yeah.
right? Like a predator, maybe fight a soldier from maybe World War II or a different time period, you know,
Yeah.
or a Viking, or whatever, or or
And I think Prey kind of kicked that off when when the Predator, yeah, it was Predator versus like the I don't remember what her name was, but the Native American girl. Um,
I think I wanted to see Predator fight an underweight Native American girl. I think that's what we've all wanted our whole
yeah.
lives.
Yeah.
um,
I like the
yeah,
movie.
so I really do like this, and another thing about this is you can show. I think better kills cheaper
Yes.
too.
Yeah. And some of the kills that they just showed in the trailer
It
were
looked
pretty
really good.
bloody.
It
Yes.
looked really good. Um, like I don't want to see a gore fest, torture fest, but I do want to see good kills. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like a satisfying kill.
Right. And again, just hoping that they kind of continue to bring the Predator back as like someone who is a vicious killer and like damn near unstoppable, because that was one of the appeals of the first movie that they struggled to get since the first one with Arnold Schwarzenegger, was that the original Predator movie, the Predator was taking out the most badass people on the planet. Like, I
Right.
don't think they ever established what they were, but like some kind of Delta Force or something, like some kind of covert unit that doesn't exist of special forces guys
Yeah.
that were all
We want to see
manly
Predator
men.
kill Jocko Willink, David Goggins.
The oh god, what the Adrian fucking guy who just won the Oscar this year, Adrian Brody, when he was in the
Oh yeah.
Predators, or no, Predators is what it was called, and it was like, you know, I mean, when the Predator took out Danny Trejo, I was kind of like, oh, I would have liked to have seen that fight,
Right.
but like that was the appeal of the first movie, was that there was like this thing was so badass it was killing like these really like war hardened soldiers. But then like the second one came in and he was just killing some gangbangers, and it was like, well, oh well.
But like
And Bill Paxton.
Alien Predator animated movie,
It
I
would
would
be
be
great.
all for that.
I used to read the comic books and they were fantastic. They were great. Loved them.
And I almost think that would be better than a live action.
Yeah, well, I think they've got the right person. I think they've got the right people helming these projects now, which is what makes me have some faith in it. Dan Trachtenberg has done a great job with the Predator stuff so far. I mean, he's just done the one movie really, and this upcoming movie. But Fede Alvarez, who did Alien, I think he's also producing Alien Earth, if not writing it, and he's really, really good. And I think that it goes back to the problem of just because a director is a good director doesn't mean he knows the source material enough to produce something that the fans will really like, or that will capture that feeling that people get going to one of those movies. You know, whoever did Alien vs Predator, that first movie, had never been familiar with the Alien vs Predator series, had not really done anything.
Oh, that's
They,
always the problem, though.
it is, and it's like just give it to people who know what the hell they're talking about or
Right.
what they're doing.
Right. That's always the problem. I hate it when that happens, and I don't know why they do that.
Like
Uh,
there's so many fanboys and nerds in Hollywood that like could produce these things so well. Star Wars, I feel like the people who have made those last 3 Star Wars movies just fucking hate Star Wars.
Yeah.
You know, J.J. Abrams, I like a lot of his work, but I mean, he doesn't have an original thought in his head.
Well,
Everything he
still
does
did
is just
Star Trek. Um,
yeah.
and I guess the Star Trek was okay.
So I liked the first Star Trek movie he did. Then the second one, like they didn't have an original idea, so they just went with Khan.
Yeah, but they also had what's her name just kind of take off her clothes for no reason.
Yeah, I didn't complain about it.
Eve, what's her name? Eve something.
Alice Eve.
Alice Eve.
Yeah,
It's just like it's just a scene
it's
where she
random.
just like her clothes are off for no reason, and it was like okay.
Yeah,
That's all I remember.
fun stuff.
There's a
Yeah,
reason that's all I remember.
yeah.
Um, you're gonna be interested. I don't know why this is news, but Lanterns will touch on how Sinestro was Hal's mentor.
Oh well.
That is the big news coming out of Lanterns.
Oh, well, it's cool because they've got Nathan Fillion coming on the show too as Guy Gardner. So you've got Jon Stewart, Hal Jordan, Guy Gardner. We'll see if Alan Scott makes his way on there.
Who's playing Jon Stewart?
I don't remember his name. I'm not really familiar with him. I have to look that up real quick. It is.
Pierre.
Yeah, I don't really know him or any of his work. I know Kyle Chandler, and I really
know
like him.
him. Yeah, I know him. He's a good actor. He's got crazy eyes.
Cool. I don't think I've ever. I don't know. I'm trying to see.
Rebel Ridge. I think that was a good movie. Yeah, no, he is a good actor. Rebel Ridge was pretty good. Watch that. That's a good movie.
I'll check that one out.
Was that on Netflix or something? I just like, yeah, it was on. It's on Netflix. Watch that. It's pretty good.
Rebel Ridge. Okay, I'll check it out.
Yeah, no, that was actually pretty good. No, he's a good actor. I like him for Jon Stewart. No, he's good.
Cool.
Yeah, he's that's a pretty good. What was that? It was some kind of like cops are assholes, and he just fucks them all up kind of movie. He was like a Army Ranger or something like that. One of those kind of like cops fuck with him. He's an Army Ranger kind of dude, or Special Forces, or MMA or something.
Kind of like what was it? Walking Tall.
Basically, he's a Marine, and cops fuck with him, and he basically kills all the cops. I've seen it like last year, and he was really good in it. So yeah, he's a good Jon Stewart. I like him.
Yeah, I'll check that out. Yeah, I'm trying to see who else they have listed right now.
Kyle Chandler's in it. I like him,
and I like Kyle Chandler, and as Hal Jordan will be interesting because he's going to play an older Hal Jordan, obviously, because Kyle Chandler's like in his 50s.
Is he? Okay, he's not Alan Scott.
No, Alan Scott. They haven't said anything about Alan Scott being in the show yet. I think that's going to be their LGBTQI plus whatever character.
Alan Scott is.
I think he's gay in the comic books now.
Alan Scott is.
I think so. I think he's gay. Maybe not Alan Scott. Who is it? Hold on.
He's gay now.
They changed it like a few years ago. They decided to make him gay.
Oh, Jason Ritters in it.
Yeah, Alan Scott. He's the gay one.
Okay, that's random.
Yeah. So, anyways, yeah, but no, I'm
Ulrich Thompson.
And just continuing on the DC stuff, it's did you see it's like a 5-minute clip from Superman that came out with Crypto?
Yeah, I've seen that like 50 times.
It's great. Crypto's adorable.
Well, I like the robots.
Yeah, and we got Alan Tudyk's mystery character in there.
They're just like, we don't have feelings.
Yeah.
But then they like kind of keep acting like they have feelings.
Yeah. So, but it was great, and Crypto comes to find, and it's setting a stage, and they did a really good job at displaying this clip because they take him. He's really injured. He has to have Crypto Dragon back to the Fortress of Solitude. He's there. They're saying how he has like 38 broken bones. So now we're all wondering what the hell broke 38 of Superman's bones.
And then they have to give him Yellow Sun.
Yep. They have like some kind of magnifying glass thing to give him power. So like, but that's what I want to know is I want to know what did this to him. And I know that they did that as the tease.
I'm thinking, I don't know.
Something beat the hell out of him. So from what I read in the synopsis, I think not the synopsis, but like people's theory right now is that they're doing All-Star Superman, and Lex Luthor is testing Superman with different situations. So like we saw in the commercials that he's battling a kaiju. There's a clone of him, and I think they said Bizarro is going to show up. That could be who did it. But anyways, Bizarro might be a part of this. That's one of the rumors. But they're kind of doing All-Star Superman, and there's always a possibility that Lex Luthor shows up in his Lex Luthor power suit, and they duke it out. Metallo could be it. There's a lot of different...
Metallo's like big weakness.
Yeah, so there could be a lot of different things that Superman goes up against. But they're doing it the right way versus what Batman vs. Superman did, which was reveal the real villain, Doomsday, in the trailers, which was a little, kind of took away from that moment. And they introduced Doomsday too early. They stop doing that. Doomsday is like a, like a Earth-ending event.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't seem like they can go that route anymore. It's played out now.
Yeah.
Like, they gotta do something else now.
Well, we've seen Doomsday 3 times now. We've seen Doomsday on Batman vs. Superman, Smallville, and Superman and Lois.
It's like, it's time to do something else. That's 2025 now. Other things have happened, right? Like,
that's why I want to see when they actually do the Batman, the Brave and the Bold. I want them to do the Court of Owls because that was like a newer storyline.
Court of Owls is a good one.
It's a newer storyline that they introduced in the New 52, and it's only been around for maybe 10 years, maybe 15. But the Court of Owls was like a really interesting story, and I read that one in the New 52, and Gotham Knights had a lot to do with that. I love the thing they did on Harley Quinn. Do you remember when they had the Court of Owls, and it was just a bunch of people having an orgy? Oh, that was good. I love that show. I gotta watch the new season that just came out. But
yeah, I'm thinking that they are going to do I don't know if they're gonna do their own thing or if they're going to I mean, they got, like I've said before, they got, years and years and years of stuff to take from.
Yeah.
So it's not like they have to like just take something from like the last 25 years or they could take something from 50 years ago.
Yeah.
Years ago,
Well, they're just using the most iconic stuff, which is great because people come to see that, but there's a lot more stories to pull from. And I do kind of like that they're going with more of an all-star Superman, if that is the case, because that was one of my favorite storylines that they ever did. That was, God, when was that? That was like 60s, I think. 60s or 70s when they did All-Star Superman. I think. I don't know. But that was always one of my favorite stories that they did. The Justice League, The New Frontier was always a good one. Like, they could do a lot with it. And I know they're doing the Elseworld stuff because Matt Reeves' Batman is still kind of doing its own thing. I really want them to announce who's going to be Batman, though. because I think the top contenders right now, from what I've heard, is Alan Richson and Jensen Ackles. Both of them are top contenders. I don't know if there's a lot more people, but those are the two getting the most press.
Well, yeah. I don't think there's any real contenders. I think those are just guys that they're like, this person wants to be Batman. Someone at Comic Con was asking Sean Gunn, "Can you tell James to hire Alan Rickman?" And he's like, Me asking him that is like you asking him that. He doesn't give a shit what I say."
Yeah.
But I mean, I just going off of what James Gunn has done. I don't think it's going to be like a highly known commodity.
That's very possible. He has been picking a lot of people who are, I don't want to say lesser known, but who are not like big stars.
Well, and also it's like, well, I guess it depends on how old Batman's going to be. Like,
Yeah.
what iteration of Bruce Wayne it's going to be. Is it going to be like a fresh Batman? How trained is he going to be too? You know what I mean? Like, is
Sure.
it going to be a Batman that's like younger, uh, that that's green? You know what I mean? Or is it going to be a well-seasoned Batman, kind of like Ben Affleck was?
I think it's going to be a more seasoned Batman because I think the Brave and the Bold is going to feature. I think James Gunn talked about it and said it was going to feature Batman and his son Damian and their troubled relationship in like the movie. Like that's supposed to be like the feature. I mean, we won't know more until it comes out. I wish they would start Batman kind of from year one and kind of go that route and introduce Dick Grayson and even picking it up into like I don't want to say like he's been Batman for a few years and he's going through his thing, but there's a lot they could really do. I personally don't think starting him older is the way to go. I think they did that when they did that with Batman versus Superman. I didn't love it the most because like if you're thinking they've got a 10-year plan right now, you pick an actor pushing 50, like if route, you got a 6 name Batman at the end of this. Like the casting choice for uh Titans for Batman. I was like, what do you think? We'll see what happens with that.
And
I have faith that
he also has stated that he wants Swamp Thing and Dynamic Duo.
mhm. I'd be down with that. I like Swamp Thing.
Well, if he does Swamp Thing, I want him to have Animal Man. Animal Man is a very underrated character and very much is teamed up with Swamp Thing.
Hmm.
And I don't think people know Animal Man very much.
I don't
Um,
really know him that much.
Look him up. Look up some of his comics. Read
I
some of his
know.
comics. He's a very interesting character. Like he has some good comics, dude. I used to read him. It's been a
I
long time. I should look. I should go back into him.
I know. I know Animal, Vegetable, Mineral Man, which is one of the wackiest characters they ever made.
Now look up old Animal Man comics. Especially after New 52,
Yeah.
Animal Man had some good comics,
Hmm.
and he had some good ones with Swamp Thing. He was often teamed up with Swamp Thing. He's a
Can see
good one.
that. Yeah. Well, the Swamp Thing show that they did was great, and I was kind of disappointed that they never continued that because it was really good. The one that they had
Um.
on on HBO.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It was good. I liked it, and they followed the comic book pretty closely.
So I got some news. Io Edebury is rumored to replace Johnny Depp in Pirates of the Caribbean 6.
Who?
Ayo Edebiri.
Who is that?
Ayo, Ayo Edebiri
Oh, okay, wait. I got it. I got it right here.
is rumored to replace Johnny Depp.
Who is this person? Inside Out 2, she was Envy. She was the voice of April O'Neil in that Ninja Turtles movie that nobody saw. She's like going to play Jack Sparrow? I don't understand what's happening here.
She's rumored to replace Johnny Depp.
Like that's like literally how it's phrased that she's going to replace Johnny Depp.
That is the rumor I seen.
I see. Well, I know that they were gonna do a new Pirates of the Caribbean with Margot Robbie as the lead. I don't know if they're still doing that. I think let it die.
Um,
Let it die. We're good. We don't need it anymore.
okay. So it's gonna be Ayo Edebari,
Mm-hmm.
which I don't mind her. I I I think she, because if I remember right, she actually isn't bad herself as far as being an actress.
Sure.
In some things. But if you're doing a movie with her as a pirate with Margot Robbie, is that going to hold up? We just watched Snow White. With
How was
Rachel
it?
Zegler.
How was it?
Well, I didn't watch it. We just watched it bomb, though.
Oh,
You see what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying. I thought you meant you just watched the movie.
We just watched it bomb.
Yeah.
Pirates of the Caribbean is a Disney product.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying anything other than is Disney trying to kill itself?
Their decisions are very baffling. I don't get it. Like, in the fact that they still think, yeah, everything's going fine, we're doing good, but like, are they? Maybe they're just not making a lot of money on the movies. Maybe it's a small portion where they're just kind of like, we don't really give a shit. Like maybe Disney World's making them all the. Maybe like I don't know. Maybe they're just not making that much on the movies and they don't care
Or
because they've been getting progressively worse. Like
is it that they're too big to fail?
yeah, like they gotta be like looking at this as like a sign, right? Like if you were a smaller studio that did not have your hands in just about everything and you purely made movies, you would not make these decisions. You would be like, fuck, like we're gonna have to lay people off because these movies are so bad and everybody's not watching them. Like you would not make these decisions,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So, and I think it's just, it's time. At times, it's kind of like you feel like you should take Disney away from Disney.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't know. I don't understand billionaires.
No.
Anyways, also, uh, I wanted to touch on Nintendo Switch 2.
Oh yeah.
Uh, apparently, they extended their uh, release due to tariffs.
Mm-hmm.
Because Trump is apparently ruining everything, and everybody is or is, I don't know what they're doing, putting
Yeah.
swastikas on
And
Teslas or something.
Teslas and yeah.
And well, they're selling the Switch 2 for like $500, which okay, I guess that's kind of the running cost of systems now. I don't know. I'm not going to buy one. But my problem is it's $80 a game.
Yes.
And they're not even selling the game, they're selling like a code. And they when I go on the Switch store, because I have yet to beat Zelda still, I still gotta beat Ganon.
Yeah.
Uh, so which I just can't bring myself to do. It's just kind of annoying. Uh, but I want to play some Mario. I just want to play some new Mario. And I go on the store and I look at, the Mario games, and they're all like $80 or $70. And it's like, I don't want to spend $70, $80 on a Mario game. And they're like 5 years old.
Yeah.
And it's like, do you guys not bring down your prices on 5-year-old games?
So I was looking through that like not long ago. I was looking through it and I saw some of these older games and they were still so expensive. And I was like, what's happening? Because usually you wait a while. And so this is why I moved to being almost exclusively a PC gamer. Because you go on Steam, they always have deals going on. When games have been out for a while, the prices drop. But for whatever reason, Nintendo doesn't drop their prices. I have a Switch. I just don't want to buy any games because I don't have
Right.
$60 to spend on something that I'm barely going to play.
Right. And I
And
tell you, oh god,
I was going to say, and you don't get the same amount of support and patching that you get with PC games.
I'll tell you what, I'll tell you who's gonna win it all. It's gonna be Microsoft
Hmm.
and Xbox.
Yes.
Because Xbox, the next Xbox, it was leaked that Steam is going to be on it,
Oh no shit.
and you can play it on PC. The Xbox Game Pass is on PC. All the games you can play on the Xbox is on PC, and you can play Xbox on PC. You can play PC on Xbox. PlayStation, they're very some of the games you can play on PC, but they're very arrogant about that. And then Xbox, they have the previous generation games you can play on the new Xbox.
Yeah. Well, so the did you ever see the controversy with Helldivers 2 with
Mm,
PlayStation? Oh god, it was great. So I'm a big fan of Helldivers 2. I've got it. I've played it a lot. I've played the shit out of that game. It's so good. But so when it came out for PC and PlayStation, and then they PlayStation did something. It was a PlayStation like sponsored game or something like that, produced game, and then they tried to make everybody who was playing on PC get a PlayStation account, PlayStation Online account, whatever they call it. They tried
PlayStation
to make
Plus.
maybe that was what it was, PlayStation Plus. So they were trying to make everybody get this, and it cut off a lot of people who were overseas playing the game. So basically, the community boycotted the game. Like they were saying, we're not playing anymore. Everybody started demanding refunds because of PlayStation's like thing, and the developers of the game were like, hold on, like we're gonna talk with them. We're gonna work out a deal or something." And they had to go talk to PlayStation, and be like, "You guys need to back the fuck off." So like they did. They ended up backing off because the player, fuck this, we're not putting up with it. So PlayStation like, and that was something that put a real um, damper on all that because Helldivers is played by something like 30 to 50 million players a day. So like it just everybody lost their shit over PlayStation pulling their nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
And meanwhile, Xbox is like, hey, everybody, go play games on the computer. Hey, for $10 a month, you can play all these games that we released right here. And guess what? When you download them, they're yours forever. Like,
Hmm.
it's, and I do have, so I have issues with Steam strictly as a developer, right? So they take a lot of margin from the indie developers who release their games on Steam. I think it's something like 30%. It might be a little bit more than that now, but they take 30% of all the earnings from the game. Now I get you have to, you have to make money and all that to keep the system alive. You look over at Epic Games, which is like Epic Games has, I think, a 10% fee or something, but only after you hit X amount of dollars from the games you're selling. So I much prefer to go with Epic. Epic has been consistent throughout. Um, like Unreal Engine has been very consistent. It's been a great platform to build on. The stuff that they release is good. A lot of the MMO games cross over. Um, so I spend a lot more time in Epic. They just don't have as big of a selection. Like Steam definitely has the monopoly on the PC gaming world. Like even as they've kind of started to pick up more and more. But yeah, Steam has the monopoly. That's why I do like going to the developers' websites and buying directly from them. I have that option because I do like to support, the those developers and know that the money's going strictly to them. It's just hard because you don't hear about them until you like see a game on Steam.
Yeah, sometimes that's the only place you can get a game.
Yeah,
Sometimes we hear about a game, and then also Amazon
yeah,
Prime has games too.
yes. I've been seeing that. And so Netflix has been releasing games on their app.
You can
I had
play Netflix games on TV.
Yeah, I've been playing them on my phone. I have what do I have on here? I have Civilization 6. Um, oh, I just saw that rumor about Johnny Depp. Oh man. Okay. But yeah, I have like Civilization 6. I have the Squid Game one, which was a lot of fun. But I just just a couple of games I play on my phone. They had a Stranger Things one that was like an '80s arcade game, which was really cool. But yeah, it's good. It's good to see like that Xbox is making those leaps. Nintendo is just like they have some good games, but I can't do it for the prices they have. Like yeah, the tariffs are hurting a little bit and everything, but I know that they said that they were going to delay the pre-orders. So they're not going to do the pre-orders. They're going to keep the release date for Nintendo Switch 2 because they want to see if they'll work out the deal with the tariffs. So who knows?
Um, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I'm thinking, uh, because these tariffs get dropped as the countries drop tariffs on the U.S., right? So I'm thinking Japan probably wouldn't be an issue.
Yeah, I think a lot of them are coming to the table to negotiate and talk about it. So who knows how long it's going to last? I know China is kind of being the holdout right now, which
Yeah, I
is
know. I think Vietnam did, and Argentina did. I think a couple countries did. I think that's the issue. And yeah, China's the big deal, but Canada did, Mexico did. I
yeah,
think that was the big deal. Was yeah, negotiating and stuff like that. So
yeah. Well, it's a
hopefully, we'll see the payoff on all that. I mean, I seen this, and granted, I hate all sides, so I'm a pure anarchist. So don't hate me, whoever. I seen this one meme where it had video game prices, and it had the bullet going through the ear, and it said $4.99, and it had it going through the head, and it said $6.99.
Uh, yeah. This, I mean, we're in a trade war right now. That's what we're in.
Yeah, and I don't, you know, I was just being an asshole. My wife, my wife's like, "Did your retirement lose any money?" I'm like, "No, it's up. I didn't even look at it." She's like, my mom lost $50,000, and I look at mine. It was like 8,000 or something like that.
Yeah, I know.
And I'm
I
like,
know I'm
oh,
hearing about a
the
lot of
market's
people
just
losing.
correcting itself.
Yeah, I mean, when you look back at it, we're, we went about 5 years backwards, but we're still ahead of where we were about 10 years ago. So we'll
I
take
don't
it
know.
either way. But yeah, I saw something really funny. Somebody posted a meme, and it was like the opening crawl from the Phantom Menace, and I had to pull it up so I could read it. They were like, "Uh oh," and it just says, "Turmoil has engulfed the Galactic Republic. The taxation of trade routes to outlying star systems is in dispute." It's just going on about blockades and stuff, and it was like really funny. It's like, yeah, this is where we're at.
I just like to antagonize people.
Yeah,
People are like, "Oh no, we're in such turmoil." I'm like, "What are you talking about? Everything's perfect."
yeah, everything's completely fine. We're all in. Yeah, sure. An uncertain future. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens.
No, if we end up not having income taxes by next year, I'm not going to complain. I don't know if that's going to happen, but I ain't going to complain.
Yeah. Well, that's anytime somebody says that to me at work, it's just like, oh, I don't support what Elon Musk is doing and, firing all these federal employees. I'm like, I'm a libertarian, so I support this full heartedly, and I think that they should not stop and they should keep going.
Yeah.
It's like they're not firing enough people.
Um. Yeah, I have no comment. I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know. I don't know anything. Taxation is theft. That's all I know.
This is true. We do
Uh,
know.
any final words?
Nope, I'm pretty good. How about yourself?
Yeah, I'm all set.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for listening to our Spit Take podcast. We were happy to have you here, and make sure to check us out on Facebook, YouTube, and we'll see you next time.
Level up, guys.